what this moment would feel like standing in front of this community. And I have to say, in this moment, I feel more calm than I ever imagined, because I know that each of you are here truly supporting me and loving me. And I appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you so much. It is an honor and a privilege to be here with you tonight to share a message, to share my message. And it was very interesting on Sunday when I was making an announcement about my own talk. I mean, that was kind of different, right? And so I have an opportunity to share that with you tonight. I have a special thank you that I want to say to a lovely couple, friends of mine, Jean Wagner and Debbie Alton. They drove here today from Mobile, Alabama.
Wow.
To be here. Drove 5.5 hours to go to church, so pretty cool. As David said, I work with energy. That's what I do. And energetically, I want to connect with each of you in this moment. So if you will, just take a deep breath and keep your eyes open. Just take a deep cleansing breath in. And just let it lift. Beautiful lights. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. So let me tell you a little bit about me. I've been on a conscious spiritual path for 10 plus years. In that 10 years, well, many of you may already know this, but for those of you who don't, I am a recovering alcoholic and addict. 10 plus years, one day at a time. And that is an important part of my piece, but there is by no means, no chance whatsoever that I'm going to go down the drink a lot right now, because ain't nobody got time for that. So I want to tell you about my New Thought experience. I want to tell you about how I found out about New Thought. In August 2008, I walked into the Mobile Center. I saw these two lovely people at that time. I walked into the Mobile Center. It was called Conscious Smile Center for Spiritual Living at that time. And the very first person that I had the opportunity to connect with was our beloved Reverend Dr. David Alt. And he shared a message that day in such a beautiful way, it touched my heart. It wasn't David Alt, it was the message that he shared, and it was the way that he shared it. And it was also the people that were there that welcomed me and didn't judge me for anything, right? I just felt so accepted and just so at home. And I knew that I was in the place that I was supposed to be. The very second talk I went to, the very second Sunday in August I went to, I heard a song by the name of Choice. John Miller is the producer of that song, the writer, and is the artist of that song. And he's also the producer for the movie What is New Thought? You might have seen it a few weeks ago when he was here. A lovely man. And he wrote this song way before he was ever even familiar with New Thought. He knew that there was something inside of him, something grander, more information that he wanted to connect with and tap into. So when he wrote that song, I heard it and I was like, this is it. That's it. That's me. And that's what I've chosen the title tonight, is it all comes down to a choice. Because that really had a huge impact on the choices that I've made in the last 5 years on this journey. So I moved to Georgia, moved to Atlanta in March of 2011. I've been here for 2.5 years. Who would have thought that I'd be standing up here talking to you like this? I mean, seriously. That same year, in September, I made a choice to do something called intuitive development. So I went to some classes, and I wanted to connect with something that was deeper inside of me, some truth that I had not allowed to come to the surface until that moment. And so I started going into these classes, and they were outside of the center, and I wanted to just know more. I wanted to take a journey, an adventure, to know more about me. Who am I? Why do I make the choices that I make? Why do I repeatedly make the choices that I make? Seriously, the choices that create great discomfort and pain if I allow it to. That adventure, by the way, was very incredible. I had several people that supported me on my path for this last year, from September 2011 until now. And I bless you, Karen Ratz. Thank you. Thank you so much. She has been on this journey with me, she and David. And they supported me, and they watched me grow, and they watched me change, and they watched me kind of go out there a few times going, bring it back in, Tracey, bring it back in. It's okay, it's all good. So I call myself a spiritual mentor. What is that? I have an opportunity to assist clients every single day to connect with their authentic selves, with their truest selves, with who they really are. Remember, I was on that journey of finding out, what's in this girl? What is she all about? And so I have the pleasure, the honor, and the privilege every single day to connect with people in that way and to assist them in brushing away the information, the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that are no longer serving them. I work with energy, and that's what energy is. It's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And so, as I have the opportunity to do this and step into this place as a spiritual mentor, as you can imagine, I made lots of choices in my life in the last few months, especially since probably December, January of this year. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the powerful choices that I made that really does have me standing here in front of you right now. These choices have prepared me for a grander life, a greater ability to say yes to what it is that's out there waiting for me, and then assist others, each of you, to recognize and observe what that piece is inside of you. And so I'll say in January of this year, I made a choice to go on a nutrition path, a nutrition plan, and I found a nutritionist, an incredible friend of mine who is very talented, she's wonderful, she's very spiritual, and we had a great connection. And I told her in the beginning that I wanted to connect with all of me because I felt at that time that I knew where I was spiritually and emotionally and mentally, which is like leaps and bounds from where I was 10 years, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 months ago. But I knew that I wanted to really have that balance and to connect with that physical piece and to have everything be in congruence, right? I felt as though I was out of balance. And so I chose to do some work with her. And I learned so much about food, about nutrition, about my body, about who I am. A couple of weeks after I began that, I went on a journey to Cambodia, and so we know Reverend David has Come Your Child Foundation there, and so I went on the trip to Cambodia, thinking that it was going to be a profound trip. It's going to be very profound, but it was also an opportunity for me to just kind of step away from everything that I had been doing here at the spiritual center, and just kind of pause and give myself permission to begin again, which is not the same as starting over. And so I'm there, I'm in this moment in Cambodia, and there were many moments. There were many moments. It was an amazing trip. But there was this one moment with a particular child where I felt everything kind of click. I felt everything. It was like as if all the information that I had been seeking, that I had been looking for, just kind of came together right there in that moment. And I connected with this child. I got goosebumps. I connected with this child in a way that I've never connected with anyone else. Never. Right? I allowed myself to connect with him so beautifully, and he allowed himself to connect with me, and he didn't even know me. He didn't know anything about me. But we had this beautiful bond, this beautiful moment, and I got it in that moment that something very different was changing inside of me, and that I was saying yes to it. Whatever it was, whatever that grand thing is, I was saying yes to. I came back. And I will say, there is a phrase called the breakdown before the breakthrough. Has anybody else ever heard that? Yeah. Okay, so I had that. I acknowledge that. And there was a time right after I returned where I was one sick puppy. Woo! I was ill. Like people were coming to get me, like Karen Ratz and David Hall. They were coming to get me and take me to the grocery store. And not many people know this because for some reason in that moment I chose not to tell a lot of people. I just kind of kept it to myself. I was just going through my emotions. I was just feeling what I was needing to feel. But it was so intense at one time that I literally thought, am I dying? Am I going to live? Well, let me tell you, there's a whole lot of things that go through your mind at that moment when you actually think that and when you actually connect with that moment. And so I'm there and I just go, okay, I got it. Whatever this is about, I surrender to. I just surrender. I just step back and I just allow. And from that moment until now, I can tell you that everything has been lined up. The universe is saying, yes. Here it is. You've been waiting for that. Come on, let's go. Take it. And I said yes, and I continue to say yes. But there was that moment I needed, for some reason, I needed to experience that so that I can get here. To really powerfully step in and say, I can assist you. I can assist you. If you're feeling blocked or you're feeling stuck, you have this idea in some way that energetically you are unable to move forward in some way. To step up and say yes, to make a decision, to make a choice, to follow through with something that you said you're going to do, then let's talk about that. Let's talk about those choices. In every moment, we are choosing. We are choosing. When we choose not to choose, we're still choosing not to choose because it's a choice, right? We're choosing to be happy. We're choosing to be sad. We're choosing to be lonely. Choosing to be fulfilled. Choosing to be separate or united. Think about being separate. You think about that when we're going through stuff. You know the stuff I'm talking about. The stuff that I experienced back in February. There was a lot of time in that moment, in that period, that I chose to be separate. I chose to keep myself back. I chose to not step in and say, assist me. I need some help here. I need some help. I was afraid. I was freaked out, actually. I was really quite afraid. And so I look at that now, and I look back on my opportunity, and it's something that David has been talking to us about for several months, and it's giving ourselves permission to receive. The gift of receiving. And so that's what I had in that moment. That's what I had, was the opportunity to receive. And so people would step up and they would say, I'm going to come take you to the doctor. People would step up and say, I'm going to bring you groceries. People would step up and say, I'm going to make some chicken soup for you. It's going to be at your door, even if you don't want to open your door. You know, people would bring me supplements and whatever it was that I needed. But I said yes to that. It was a choice. And it was a painful choice until I said yes. There's a lot of pain in there that I allowed myself to feel. A lot of resistance. Right? Who else is familiar with resistance? Right? Gotcha. So let's talk about some choices. Let's talk about some big choices that you're facing in your own life. We may not want to identify that at this moment, that we have a great big choice that we haven't made. But they're in there. Maybe you've recently made a choice and you feel a little apprehensive about it. Feel a little scared. You want to back up and go, ooh, what exactly happened? Had that thought a couple of days ago. Maybe you have a tendency to not complete tasks. You say yes, you sign up, you go, you do, you say yes. And I'm going to do this big thing, this big project. And I got 9 projects, man, and I got them all started, but I can't seem to complete any of them. Oh, that's a choice. It's a choice. And when we identify with that choice, we have an opportunity to overcome it, to transcend it, to say yes in a grander, greater, bigger way. And it's okay in that moment when we realize, actually, that's not the project I want to do after all. Right? How many of those projects are out there where you go, fascinating. I don't really think I want to do it. Maybe that's the reason that I haven't completed that task. Choice of restlessness. You know that in the meantime, you know that name? That I've treated, I've scripted, I've told lots of people this is what I want, I've called it forth, I said yes, I prayed, and it's not here yet. It's not in front of me yet, it's not right here. And so it's that restlessness, it's that choice to be in this place where we can't feel content with what we have, right? Does anybody else? Just every once in a while, right? And then maybe you've made lots of choices and everything in your life has already just aligned and you are just absolutely in perfect shape and you don't want anything else. There's no more desires. Everything's right there, right? I mean, it's right here. You can just plug that stuff off. Oh, I did this and I did. Okay, yeah. And if you're here, I want to talk to you after because I know. If that's not your situation, if you're here with me and we're in this place of choosing to say yes to a grander life, to living your life's purpose, on purpose, in every moment. Then let's do that. Let's begin now. Let's do that together. Do you want to? Yes. Cool. Me too. That's awesome. What do you think are some of the reasons that we might not have moved forward yet? Anybody? Got any ideas why we might not have made a decision to jump in? Oh, fear. Fear. Forgetting everything is all right. Got it. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown. Well, if I make that choice, what's going to happen? I mean, I don't really know what's going to happen, so I don't think I'm going to make that choice because it might be scary. And then I'll be afraid again, right? Or maybe it's all three. Maybe it's all of those choices. Here's what I know, based on my own personal experience, multiple times throughout my life, but especially back in February. The pain and the discomfort that we feel when we are in fear is usually more intense than the actual experience itself. Amen? And it kind of sucks when we find out that even though we're in that pain, we have chosen to be in it. We have chosen that discomfort. We have chosen that pain. That's the part that I'm still working on that. So let's see here. What happens when we feel fear? We identify areas where we're blocked. We think we're blocked. Maybe our communication, maybe our creativity. Maybe we haven't manifested that right and perfect romantic love partner just yet. Right? We feel that. We feel like something must be wrong with me. I must not be good enough. I must not be powerful enough. I must not be creative enough. I can't do fill in the blanks, right? I work with thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And I used to have a thought that what I was doing was enough, that I really didn't need to, I would show up to the centers, when I was in Mobile, I would show up and I was like, yeah, this is good. Yeah. I was going to play like at this level. I'm just going to play right here because this feels comfortable for me. This feels quite nice for me. And I remember my friend in Mobile, she said, actually in Fairhope, Alabama, she said, Tracey, you don't have the luxury to play small anymore. You just don't. You do not have the luxury, and you do not have my permission. And I said, okay. And I listened to her. And we would talk, we would have these amazing conversations in our yoga classes about the bigness, about the playing big, about what it feels like to play big, about what it looks like to play big, what it looks like to play small. Right? So what was one of the things that I needed to do in that moment of watching time? What is one of the things that I needed to do in that moment when I realized, when I heard her say that I do not have permission or the luxury to play small anymore? Then I had to start surrounding myself with people who see my bigness, people who see how grand I am, and remind me regularly, hold me accountable for the Tracey that's in there that has been asking to come forward. So I do that regularly. So if you're not doing that, which I have a feeling that you all are, we have an amazing community here. But if you are not, if you do not have a network of people that you can reach out to, text, call, email, if you don't have that network that hold you accountable, call you on your shit, then find that network of people. Because that's what this is about. It's not about being separate. I got it. It's not about being separate. It is about uniting. It is about community. Okay, so let's do an exercise, because you know I work with energy, right? So I want you to close your eyes. If you feel comfortable, just close your eyes, and if you can place your feet firmly on the floor, fantastic. Place your palms up in your lap, facing up, in the place, ready to receive. Ready to receive. Take a deep cleansing breath in. And exhale slowly. Take another deep cleansing breath in. And exhale slowly. I want you to bring into your mind that choice. You know the one. The one that you probably thought of earlier when I mentioned it to begin with. Whatever that choice is, I want you to bring it into your mind. Give yourself permission. Maybe it's one that you've already made and you simply haven't completed all of the tasks that need to be completed. Whatever that choice is, just bring it into your mind. And I'm going to ask you to be creative. No one's reading your mind here. No one's going to ask you to share. So just let your imagination flow. Take a deep breath in. And notice what you notice about that choice. And now I'm going to ask you to be really creative. I'm going to ask you to check in to your body, your physical vessel, and see where that choice resides. If you feel pressure or tension, just take note of that. If you're unable to feel it anywhere in your body and you have pressure and tension, take note of that. Maybe you feel a little restless right now. Maybe a little frustrated. Maybe you're relaxed. Maybe you're just simply curious. You're curious where this Tracey is leading you. If there's any thoughts coming up, just look at them. That's mind chatter. That is the mind, the ego showing up, trying to distract you from feeling this feeling inside your body. And now thank this choice, thank this information for showing up for you. Just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank yourself for giving yourself permission to look at it. And now, I want you to send it a really loving message. Something like, I see you, or I love you, or thank you, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for showing me where this is in my body. And now you can open your eyes. Tell me, just by a show of hands, who was able to connect in their body with that choice? Were you able to connect and see where that was residing inside of your body? Right? Right? And that's okay if you didn't. Did you feel, you might have felt tension, you might have felt stress somewhere in your body. That is your physical body holding on to information, thoughts, feelings, and emotions that no longer serve you. Period. Period. And where that choice is being held in your body, when it's time for you to really step up and say yes to that choice, go there. Wherever it was. Wherever it was. If it was in your low abdomen, if it was in your heart, if it was in your throat, if it was in your head, go there. Sit with that and allow information to flow through you and to you so that you can step into that opportunity of saying yes in a grander way. Everyone is gifted, more talented than you even know. I work with clients on a regular basis, and I see this in so many people. Gifted. And there are so many people that have chosen not to open their gifts, to open that package and say yes. And you're not one of them. I know you're not. I know you're not, because you're here. And you're continuing to show up every Sunday and do what it is that you do. Jennifer said in her song, I am creating my highest good. Doors are opening. I am creating my happiness. I know it, and my world will suddenly show it. Do you really believe that you can truly create the life that you want to live? Do you believe that? So one other thing, I know we're going to wrap up. I know you've heard the saying, the pessimist sees the glass half full, right? And the optimist sees the half empty. Half empty. I said it wrong. I have it written right. Half empty. Pessimist sees it half empty. The optimist sees it half full. But the opportunist drinks the water. Since we've moved that energy and we've connected with that energy inside, I have one other thing energetic that I want to do that's super quick. We're going to play that song by John Miller. And I want everybody to stand up and I want you to shake your booty. Okay? Shake your booty. You can shake it. Come on.
Open up my front door and give the world